Well, I think there's a lot of changes going on with social media. Social media is the big buzzwords that we're hearing right now. Who owns it? Who's got control of it? Who's participating? It's a great place for public relations, and I think that's where we're seeing a lot of activity right now. I think everybody owns social media. I think there should be a group that should be driving it. Public relations is one of those areas, as well as Convergence Media or your online team. So it's like kind of a mix between the two. I think the biggest PR story of this year and probably the decade has to be around BP. What happened, what they did, what they didn't do, what they could have done, and I think there'll be a lot of study of that particular incident for a long, long time. I think the biggest thing besides social media that we're seeing in the public relations group, or at least the practice of it, is really around listening and listening to customers. And it seems to be a new word that's been, reinvented or at least rediscovered, which is something we should have been doing all along. But now we're starting to hear people saying, participate a little bit more. At Kodak, we put in a chief listening officer just to make that a bigger part of what we do. Well, there's a lot of online tools that you can use, just old-fashioned listening, watching and searching terms and looking and having it and doing, the tried and true, the blocking and tackling. But there's some great tools like People Browser, certainly TweetDeck if you're looking on those, Radiant 6, and a whole host of other tools. I participate in a lot. I certainly do Facebook with my family, and I do more of that. And I now have, because I'm an author, I have a fan page, so I'm very active with my fans on Facebook. But I also do Twitter. And as a business person, I really like LinkedIn because LinkedIn gives me that community feel. I'm not so much of a location-based kind of tweeter or a location-based activity with Foursquare and some of the others. I have used it. It's just not for me. I think you'd have to be an idiot to even question whether there's a case for public relations. It's OPM, other people's money. It's also one of the most tried and true. That is where I can get the message out, where people read it, see it, and participate in it every day, and it's not paid media, it's got a lot more believability. You can look at it and see the effect of public relations immediately. You can read it in the paper, you can read it online, you can see what bloggers are saying, you can see what the thought leaders are saying. It's a great opportunity, a great way to be able to get the message out. As a chief marketing officer, one of the biggest tools in my arsenal has always been public relations. I love public relations. I think it's one of the best tools that anyone can have, and I would put public relations over every other tool I have. Well, I certainly believe PR fits inside the marketing organization. I have had corporate communications, which is more of the reputation-based marketing or outward-bound communications, and I had public relations, which is also part of marketing, which is my offensive tool for the most part.